Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. What if the one thing that's holding you back isn't fear, trauma, or even failure, but the simple fact that you've never asked the right question? Today I want to talk about something truly powerful, something that can unlock hidden parts of yourself and even change the trajectory of your life. The incredible force of a well-aimed question. Think about it, think. A really good question isn't just idle curiosity, it's a spotlight that cuts through the fog in our minds. It illuminates those blind spots, those hidden depths of our inner iceberg that we often ignore. It can reveal a side of ourselves we never knew existed, a potential we hadn't even considered. In a very real sense, it can birth a new version of you. Consider the sheer impact of a single question throughout history. Take Einstein, for example. Legend has it, he pondered, what would happen if I rode a beam of light? Now, I'm not going to lie, that sounds like the kind of thought you have after a few too many special mushrooms. But look where that seemingly wild LSD-colored question led. It revolutionized our understanding of space and time with his theories of relativity. A single question reshaping the very fabric of our reality. This power of inquiry isn't just for groundbreaking scientific discoveries, it applies directly to our own spiritual growth and personal development, especially when we talk about understanding our shadow self. Asking yourself the right questions is the key to unlocking self-discovery. Yes, but even more importantly, it's the path to integrating those darker aspects of ourselves to becoming a more whole individuated person. It's about finally claiming that metaphorical gold guarded by the dragon within. Because let's face it, we all have dragons. For me, one of those monsters lurking in my unconscious was depression, and it wasn't some grand revelation that banished it. It was a well-placed question asked repeatedly that finally slayed that beast. It's like Thor smashing the Midgard serpent or Yahweh crushing the Leviathan. That decisive strike that brings liberation. We'll touch on those stories later, but for now, let's dive into the questions that I genuinely believe can help transform your life for the better. So how can you wield this power of inquiry on your path of spiritual growth? Here are a few ways to integrate these questions into your daily life. First, your journal or shadow work journal. If you have one, this is the perfect sanctuary for wrestling with these deep questions in private. Let your thoughts flow freely in that space without judgment or restriction. Second, your self-talk. Think about individuals like David Goggins, who engage in intense mirror work. You can use these questions as powerful prompts during those moments of self-reflection, challenging yourself and pushing your boundaries. Third, creating art. This might sound unusual, but consider asking yourself a question like, what would I do if I knew I could not fail? Whatever your immediate answer is, starting a business, running a marathon, writing a book, use that as inspiration for your art. Maybe it's a literal depiction, like a sculpture of you crossing that finish line, or something more abstract, like a painting, embodying the courage you'd need to take that leap. Let your creativity be a direct response to your deepest aspirations. Fourth, connecting with your higher self, your intuition, or whatever resonates with you spiritually. Like Jordan Peterson, you can make it a morning ritual to ask your most pressing questions, tapping into that inner wisdom through introspection or active imagination. Fifth, affirmations. These questions can form the bedrock of truly meaningful affirmations. Whether it's a quick, positive reinforcement before a big event like athletes do on game day, or a more extended 20-30-minute part of your morning routine, let these questions guide your self-affirmations. And finally, structuring your visualizations. Let's say you ask, who am I still angry at? And the answer is your father. This now gives you a powerful focal point for visualization. Picture that conversation playing out, both the likely scenarios, good or bad, and the ideal resolution. See yourself calmly responding, navigating their reactions, and ultimately walking away feeling lighter, having replaced that anger with forgiveness and understanding. Now, before we get into the specific questions, a quick side note. If you're finding value in these discussions, if something here is resonating with you, hitting that like button, leaving a comment, and subscribing really helps the YouTube algorithm understand that this content is worthwhile and gets it in front of more people. Your support means a lot. All right, let's get to those transformative questions. Question number 1. What advice would I give someone in my exact same position right now? Another way to frame this is, what advice would my current self give to my younger self about this specific challenge or situation? It's amazing how much clarity we can gain when we step outside our own immediate experience and offer guidance as an objective observer. Question number 2. What do I need to say no to? Or who do I need to say no to? Learning to set healthy boundaries is crucial for protecting our energy and our path. This question forces us to confront those commitments or relationships that are draining us or pulling us away from what truly matters. Question number 3. What would I do if I knew I could not fail? I absolutely love this question. And while this isn't medical advice I want to share from personal experience, if you ever find yourself spiraling into the darkness of depression, if you catch yourself before you fall too deep, answering this question every single day can be a lifeline. I've been there in that dull, suffocating abyss and forcing myself to envision a future where failure wasn't an option, repeatedly asking, what if I write a book that resonates with people? Or what if this business idea actually takes off? It was like a slow dawning of possibility. After weeks of this, something shifted. My unconscious started to believe even just a little that maybe, just maybe, I could actually do some of these things. It was the spark that pulled me out, so don't underestimate it. This seemingly simple question might just be your million-dollar breakthrough. Building on that, with those no-fail scenarios in mind, ask yourself, what specific fears are holding me back from doing those things? Dig deep here. Don't just say fear of failure. Be specific. Is it fear of public embarrassment, loss of reputation, loss of friendship, fear of being seen as too soft or too aggressive? What simple, specific name can you give to that fear? Because once you name it, you give a face to your enemy, and remember that enemy can also be your greatest teacher. There's always a light and shadow side to every coin. That fear of public speaking that clamps your mouth shut. That's the shadow. But on the other side, it's energy. It's akin to the excitement you feel on a roller coaster. What makes it good or bad is how you choose to work with that energy. And a quick tip before stepping into something that genuinely terrifies you. A sales call, talking to someone you're attracted to, sharing your opinion in a group. When you feel that rush of fear, try reframing it in your mind. Tell yourself, this isn't fear, this is excitement. This is adrenaline getting me ready. And whatever word resonates with you, energy, excitement, use it, because the physiological sensation isn't that different from the thrill of a roller coaster. It's about how you interpret it. Next question. Who am I still angry at? Who do I need to forgive? Now, I know this might sound like a tired cliche, but please stick with me here, especially if you struggle with forgiveness, because it is highly likely that learning to truly forgive will resolve a significant number of your inner conflicts. Our modern world seems to have downplayed or even forgotten the profound importance of forgiveness. Think about Gandhi's powerful words, "The weak can never forgive." Or consider how central it was to early Christianity, "Forgive, and you will be forgiven." And the stark warning in Matthew, "If you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins." Ouch! So how does this translate into the language of psychology? Simply put, holding on to bitterness and failing to forgive has severe psychological repercussions. The research is clear. It can lead to fatigue, insomnia, even a lack of libido. So, you want a better sex life? Maybe start by forgiving that neighbor. Forgive that jerk from 6th grade. Forgive your parents, your siblings, whoever it is. Let it go, not for them, but for your own spiritual growth. Because that pain, it's poisoning you more than it's punishing them. Maybe that's not entirely true, but it's definitely hurting you more than it's hurting them. Here's another one. What have I changed my mind on? What seemed incredibly important to you last year, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago that just doesn't hold the same weight now? Reflecting on these shifts in perspective can reveal how much you've grown and what values have truly endured. For this next question, let's revisit the idea of forgiveness for a moment. Think of someone who betrayed you or deeply hurt you. How do you feel about this person right now? How has that hurt, that bitterness, that fear, or that pain changed you or affected your life? And can you name the shadow trait that needs to be integrated as a result of this experience? If you've been paying attention to your triggers, even just for the past few weeks, and noting them in your journal, this question might come easily. Think about the past, both recent and distant. What generally triggers you? What are your pet peeves? Who or what makes you angry, deeply annoyed, or even disgusted? For me, I used to get intensely triggered by manipulative, bossy people. You know the type. They barge in and act like they're in charge, expecting everyone to just fall in line. It drove me absolutely crazy, especially when it actually worked on people. But those intense reactions actually connected me to parts of my own shadow I hadn't recognized. So the next crucial question is, why does this bother you so much? Identify specifically what you hate about that person, that behavior that disgusts or angers you, that triggers you. Is it possible that you secretly fear becoming like that, or that you already are like that in some way? Or perhaps even that you secretly desire to be more like that in certain aspects. What's the log in your own eye that prevents you from easily forgiving the speck in theirs? Going back to my example, I realized that part of my strong reaction to bossy take-charge types stemmed from a sense of justice, a core part of my moral compass. But digging deeper, I discovered something less noble lurking in my unconscious, a secret desire to lead, to be in control, to have power. Not so innocent after all. I was in a way projecting, vehemently pointing out the speck in their eye while I had a whole tree growing out of my own. So, there you have it, a set of powerful, soul-searching questions. My sincere hope is that they bring you more clarity, more self-awareness, and above all, a deeper connection with your path of spiritual growth. If this message stirred something in you, if even one question made you pause and reflect, please take a moment to like this video, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. It helps this content reach more hearts, more minds, more souls. Thank you so much for being here, truly. You being on this journey matters more than you know. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep growing. See you in the next one.